Welcome back to another video, guys. So the other day I was on a bike ride and I was just kind of reflecting on my NoFap journey, and I was wondering about what were the key things, the key strategies that actually helped me make it to not only 90 days, but to 130 days, NoFap, no PMO, no nothing. And I realized that it came down to a couple habits, but one really strong one in particular. Stick around to find out. So, as I was saying earlier, guys, the number one habit that helped me free myself from PMO, that helped me make it to 120 days, helped me make it to 150 days, and before I made it to those those long streaks, and I would relapse back in the day, I would stop doing this habit. This habit is literally the simplest thing ever. All you do is not only do you write down your reasons why, but you also read them every single day. The only thing you have to force yourself to do is that. You have to get yourself to read it every day, guys. Your reasons are your foundation for why you're doing this. I've bought 3 different self-development programs over the course of my life now that I'm out on my own and now that I'm improving myself. And every single time I buy one of these programs, the first thing is this: why do you want to do this? Write this down and look at it every single day. Everyone will tell you this. I used to think it didn't work, but I wasn't doing it properly. And what I wasn't doing, guys, is this. I would so my first longest streak ever was 66 days. My second longest streak ever was 88 days. I noticed that during my reboot journey, during my reboot program, I looked back on those times and I looked back at my habits during those times. And every single time I would start to relapse, it was because I forgot my reasons why. We naturally forget our reasons why we do things, especially if it's a new habit, if it's a new way of thinking. So we have to, you don't really have to call it reprogramming, it's just remembering. And so I noticed that every time I would relapse, I was like, man, I made it so far, but how am I relapsing again? Well, it was because I've stopped reading my purpose each day, my reasons why, my foundation. It started to get weak. And so you have to build that foundation, those reasons, you have to keep those strong, and you have to keep making them stronger until you get to the point where maybe you don't have to read them anymore and you've changed your life such that this habit it's not clawing on you as much. So that's all it is, guys. That's all I wanted to tell you. Like I said before, my longest streaks used to be 66 days and 88 days. And each time I would relapse, it was literally because I stopped reading my purposes. Now, some people will tell you to read them in the morning and at night, but if you're anything like me, I don't like to read it at night because I do a lot during the day and I get tired. And so you already have to kind of force yourself to do this anyway at first. And so it's hard when you're tired and you have to force yourself to do something at night. So what I did was I started in the morning. I had this coffee shop that I went to before work. I was also in class, so it was a little easier for me. I did have a little bit more of a free schedule, but I still had to manage my time. And I did it to where I would get to the coffee shop with about 30 or 45 minutes to spare before having to go to work or class. And so I could really just sit down, read these reasons, and relax. And in my experience, what this did for me was it basically set the tone for my whole entire day. I would see a girl and I would think she was really pretty, and if she had a big butt or if she had a nice body or something like that, I would still see it and I would still be attracted to her. But then I started noticing the thoughts in my mind. My mind was on guard now. It was like, oh shit, no, that's gonna make me have urges. That's gonna make me do this. So the foundation started coming up in my head and in my emotions. And so it started to make my mind have a guard up, which is what you need to do, guys. You have to have your guard up against yourself in this. So there it is, guys. You got to figure out your reasons, get into a flow, write them down, and read it every single morning and watch how your streaks will start to extend. I promise you, if you take this seriously. Now, everything you have to take seriously. So if you take this seriously, if you read it in the morning, this will work, guys.